Hello everyone. Today we'll be solving the problem seating in a bus. Right. So this was asked in Codeforces round 966 div 3. Right. So you can go through the question entirely. So I'll just summarize the question so that it will be easier to understand. Right. It will be easier to understand. Then let's discuss the approach followed by the complexities and then let's write the code. First, initially, let's try to understand the question. So here we are given a list of n seats that is occupied one after another by n passengers. So just give me a second here. So we are given a list of n seats that is occupied by one after another by n passengers. One after it, this one by occupied by one after another by n passengers. NP means this is nothing but passengers. I'll just give here passengers. So I'll just give PASSG here. So we are given a list of n seats that is occupied by one after another by n passengers. I hope this sentence is clear. So next, each new passenger must sit only next to an already occupied seat. New passenger must sit to the already occupied seat. Right. Each new passenger must sit only next to an already occupied seat, right? Already occupied seat, either it can be left or the right neighbor, right? Either it can be left or the right neighbor. So again, I'm telling, we are given a list of n seats that is occupied one after another by n passengers. Each new passenger must sit only next to an already occupied seat, either it can be left or right neighbor. So the first passenger can sit anywhere. So the first passenger can sit anywhere. So this guy is having the so they have given condition for the first passenger that he can sit anywhere. He or she can sit anywhere. For each test case, we have to determine whether all passengers followed this rule or not. Right. So apart from the first passenger, this one, the other passengers, new passengers should follow this rule. So for each test case, we have to determine whether all the passengers followed this rule. This rule I'm speaking of. I have said this one right multiple times. So here for each test case, we have to determine whether all the passengers followed this rule. We have to return yes if they have followed the rule, and we have to return no if they have not followed the rule. Right? So simple. We have to print yes if they have followed this rule, this particular rule, and we have to return no if they have not followed the rule. Right? So I hope this part is completely clear. Right, this is the question basically. So this is the question, and let's go with the, I hope the question part is completely clear. Right, so next let's discuss the approach. Before discussing the approach, let's see the input here. So we have been given four inputs. This 4 indicates the first one, 4 indicates that we have been given 4 inputs. So here the length is 5. We have 5 4 2 1 3 the passengers. Right, so we can just consider array of A or array of B, anything for this one. So length is 5. So here the length is 3. We have 2 3 1. This is the passenger array. And here this one, the length is 4, 2 3 1 4, and the last one, the length is 5, and we have 1 2 3 5 4. Let's consider this first input for the example. Here in this case, we have to get the output no. For the first input, we need to get output no. For the second and third input, we need to get the output yes, and for the fourth input, we need to get the output no. Right. So here let's consider this example for the approach so that it will be easier to understand. Right, so we need to get the output no. Let's see. Now let's discuss the approach followed by the complexities, and then finally let's write the code. Initially, let's discuss the approach first. So as I have said earlier, we are considering the first input that they have given. This is of the length 5. Basically, we have the input, this one, 5 4 2 1 3, and we need to get the output here no. Right, so we need to get the output here no. Just give me a second here. Sorry. Yeah, we need to get the output no here. So first thing I want to mention, this is important thing. So we will be going with the this one, what do you call, uh, we'll be going with the two pointers or the two pointer approach. Right, so just keep this in mind. So let's move on with the step-by-step explanation here. So the same example we are considering, right? So I'm just considering A equals 5 4 2 1 3 within the array. We have the which is of length 5 basically. This is fine. First passenger can sit anywhere. They have clearly mentioned in the question. I read this one loud. So first passenger sits at the seat 5. First passenger sits at the seat 5. So here he can sit anywhere. So this is allowed. So now as we are going with the, again I'm telling, we are going with a two pointers approach or two pointer, right? So here in this case, L left pointer and right pointer we are considering. So L will be 5 and R will be 5. Nothing but left is 5 and the right is 5. Right, next let's come to the second passenger here. We are done with the first passenger. So L equals 5, R equals 5 because this is of the length 5. Right. So I hope this part is completely clear. Then next, let's come to the second passenger here. Second passenger sits at 4. Second passenger sits at 4, which is adjacent to left of 5 minus 1. Right, left we have this one 5 here, you can clearly see, which basically second passenger is sitting at the 4, which means which is adjacent to left, basically 5 minus 1 will be 4. So this is also allowed. We will update the left to 4, right will remain same, right will be 5 itself, but we will update the left to 4. Right, so I hope this part is completely clear, easy to understand, right? So next let's move on with third passenger. We are done with the first and second passenger. Let's move on with the third passenger here. Third passenger sits at 2. Third passenger sits at 2, which is basically not adjacent to current range. Right? We have 4 comma 5. So we should have been the value 1, right? Or we should have the value 3, and both 3 and 1 we don't have. Right? Both 3 and 1 we don't have for the 2, right? Either it should be 3 for the left or it should be 1 for the right. So we don't have 1 or 3, which is, we don't have 1 and 3 within the range. So we have 4 and 5. As we have updated the left to 4 here, this is not 5 comma 5, this will be of the range 4 comma 5, right? So the third passenger sits at 2, which is not adjacent to the current range 4 comma 5. Here the rule is broken, then this case we have to return no, or we will return no. So the output that we got here is a no, right? So the output that we got here is no, which is equivalent to the output that they have mentioned here for the example 1 or the input 1. So the output that we got here is no, right? So I hope this part is completely clear, right? So the output that we got here is no, which is equivalent to the output that they have mentioned for the input 1 and the example 1 within the question, right? So I hope the approach part is completely clear. Let's quickly discuss the complexities for the code that we'll be writing in the future. So what will be the time complexity here? The time complexity would be quite obviously big of n per test case. Why it will be big of n? Because we will be looping once through all the passengers. We have to loop through once through all the passengers, right? So the overall time complexity would be big of n in this case. In this case, the overall time complexity would be big of n. So what will be the space complexity here? The space complexity would be big of n as well for the test case, because we are not storing seat numbers in any array A. So array A means this one I'm considering. So we have considered this one array as A, right? This one I'm speaking of 54213, right? So here we are, we are storing seat numbers in the array A, nothing but 5 4, this one. The range we considered first was 5 comma 5, and next while we updated it became 5 comma 4 comma 5, and the third passenger was not able to sit because 1 and 3 was not present, and 3 was not in the range. So uh, the rule was broken, we have to return no, right? So this one I'm speaking of array, right? So we need to store the seat numbers in the array A, so the space complexity would be quite obviously big of n, and the complexities for the code that we'll be writing in the future would be, the time complexity would be big of n and the space complexity would be big of n as well. I hope this part is completely clear, right? So now we are completely familiar with the approach as well as the complexities. As we are completely familiar, let's do one thing. Let's start writing the code. So let's start writing the code. So first thing is, let's import the input output utility. Sorry, input output package, right? So I'll just go with java.io.star. I meant to say that let's import input output package as well as the utility package. So here I'll just go with import java.util.star. So this is fine. So the next step, let's go with the main class here. So I'll just go with public class. Let me name this one main itself. So this is fine. Within this one, let me go with, sorry, this main. Let me delete this one here. This is fine. So here, let me add this one, input output exception. So I'll just go with throws input output exception, or else if you don't add this one, we'll be getting the error. That is the reason. So I'll just go with throws input output exception. This is fine. So within this class, first what we'll do, we'll be making use of the buffered reader. When I say we'll be making use of the buffered reader, we are going with a fast input reader, right? So that is the reason we'll be making use of the buffered reader. So I'll just go with mm, buffered reader. This one br equals. So let me do one thing. New buffered reader. So this one will be new input stream reader of this one will be system dot in. So this is fine. So we are just going with a fast input reader here. So let me come to the next line. Let's move on with the next line here. As we are considering fast input reader, let's go with a fast output writer as well. So I'll just go with a print writer here. In this case, I'll just go. Let me write here print writer. So let me make use of the variable name out. So this will be new print writer. This will be system dot out. So after this step, let's do one thing. We have to deal with a number of test cases. So I'll just go with variable t here. So I'll just give integer dot. Let's make use of the parcent here. So I'll just go with the parcent of. Let's pass the buffered reader here. We have considered br variable name, right? So let's go with the read line here. Read line. So this is fine. So let's write the simple if condition. So this is related to test cases itself, right? So if it is greater than 0, this is just the input output part. So if it is greater than 0, then we have to go with the number of passengers or seats. So for that one, I'll just go with int n equals integer dot. This one will be percent of br dot. So this will be, let's make use of the read line here. So this is fine. Yeah. The next step. Let's go with string input here. This one will be br dot read line. Yeah, this is fine. And let's go with the split as well. This is fine. So the next step is we are going with a seat order array. When I say we are going with a seat order array, we can just mention in this way. So I'll just go with a equals. I'll just consider array a. So we have considered the array, this one a itself, right? Initialize a with certain value, input value. In our case, it was 5 4 3 2 1. So here, this one I'm speaking of. This one is array a. This was 5 4 2 1 3. Sorry, yeah. Array a to integer, right? So we have integers, right? So this will be int of n. So this has to be small I basically. This is fine. Yeah. Let's move on with the next step here. We have to parse the seat numbers as well. So we have to consider this one, all the seats. So I'll just go with int I equals 0. Simple for loop here. I less than n, and let's increment the I, and within this for loop, let's parse the seat numbers. Nothing but iterated value of the a. This will be integer dot percent of input of I. This is fair. Yeah, this is fine. Let's come out of this for loop. So here let's consider the uh, let's do one thing. Let's initialize the left and right pointers. As we are going with the two pointer approach, let's initialize the left pointer with the first seat and also the right pointer with the first seat as well. So this will be int left equals a of 0, and again int right equals a of 0 as well. So after initializing the left and the right pointer with the first seat, we have to track if the passengers follow the rule or not. accordingly with the question, right? So initially let's make use of the boolean value. So I'll just go with the boolean value true. For this one, let me consider the variable name valid. So valid equals true. This is fine. So this, I hope this part is completely clear. This boolean value, we are making use of the this one variable valid here to track if the passenger follow all the rules or not, right? If not, then we have to mention no. If yes, we have to mention yes. That's what they have given in the question, right? So that's what we need to find out basically. So next step is let's go with all the passengers. So here this will be, let's make use of for loop here. This will be I equals 1, I less than n, and let's increment the I here. This is fine. So within the for loop, let's make use of the variable seat, which is of the type int. Let's assign this one to the iterated value of the a. So I hope this part is completely clear, easy. So then we have to go with the this one. Only if the seat to the left of the current segment, if the passenger sits left, right, nothing but seat to the left of the current segment, then only it is said to be valid. Either the passenger has to sit left or the passenger has to sit right, right? So right to the already sitting passenger, right? So that is the reason, that is the condition that they have given, condition they have given in the question. So first passenger can sit anywhere, and rest means all other passengers, so they have to sit next to one of the passengers. Either he or she can sit left or right, right? So for that one, let's write the simple if condition here. For the left, if the person is sitting left to already sitting passenger, then we can just write here in this way: if seat equals left minus 1, then let's assign left to seat, else if seat equals this one right plus 1, nothing but this is for right, right? So passenger sitting right to the already sitting passenger, new passenger sitting already, I mean new passenger sitting right to the already sitting passenger. So this one, let's assign right to this one seat. So I hope this part is completely clear, easy to understand. Else there is one more condition here. So if they are not sitting adjacent to each other, so if they are sitting left or right to the already sitting passenger, then we have to return true, right? So this is fine. So if they are not sitting adjacent to the already sitting passenger, then we have to go with the boolean value false, right? So here in this case, let me assign the valid to false. Simple, very simple, right? So then let me, we have to go out of the this one. So I'll just make use of the break. I'll just make use of the break here. So I hope this is fine. So I'll just come out of this one entirely. So here we have to output the result for the particular test case with either yes or no. We just cannot go with true or false, right? So we have to just output the result for the particular test case with either yes or no, with the string yes or no. So let me go with out dot println. So if it is valid, then what we will do, let's make use of the ternary operator here. If it is valid, then let's go with the yes. If it is not valid, so here this one, this condition, if it is valid, nothing but the line number 41 to 44. If it is not valid, means 45 to 47. If it is not valid, then we have to print this one, no, within the strings, right? So I'll just give no. This is fine. So this is it. Next thing here is we have to ensure all the outputs are printed. So let's make use of the flush here, out dot flush. So I hope this part is completely clear. So this is it for the code. Let's check with the this one, what do you call inputs. So let me copy this one. The output that we need to get here is no, double S, no, right? So let me paste the input here. Let me run this one. So what we have here, integer I has to be capital here. Line number 26. Where is line number 26? Yeah, this one has to be I capital for the integer. This is fine. Let me run this one again. We have what we have here. Incom Incompatible types. String cannot be convert it to string. Where is this one? Line number 27. Let's check what is wrong here. So yeah, here what I have done, I have to mention the array right here. So I have forgot to mention this one array. So this is fine. I hope this works for now. Yeah, that error, we have solved that error. Let's go with the line number 31. Error, cannot find the symbol. Again, I has to be capital here. Line number 31. So here, let me do one thing. Let me make this one capital I, right? So let me run this one. So yeah, now you can clearly see we are getting the output no double s no. So we are getting the correct output here, right? So no double s no. So we have written the, I hope we have written the correct code. Let me copy this one. Let me come here. Let me submit here. Let me submit this one. Let me hit the submit button. Sorry. So let's wait for some time. Let's see whether this works or not. Let's see whether this works or not. So yeah, you can clearly see here, right? So this got accepted, means our code works absolutely correct, right? So our code works absolutely correct. I hope the solution part is completely clear, along with the complexities and the approach, right? For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.